Good morning, everybody. Yeah, good morning. Welcome back to the show. This is the Dum Yinzers episode 385. How you doing this morning, guys?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm fired up.
Derpy, you sound like you had something. What was going on before we went on? Derpy?
Derpy.
I'm just saying, if I rant today, I apologize. I'm in a not so good mood.
What's going on? Derpy, what's going on? Stop.
What's going on? Talk to us, Derpy.
Yeah.
It's silly, but
Derpy.
It's cool. It's cool.
Let's
continue with the show.
Is it about sports?
Yeah.
What is it, Derpy?
What is a worst sports show, Derpy?
He said something hit the media. What hit the media, Derpy?
Yeah, what hit the media, Derpy? Come on, talk to us.
Expectations.
About what, the Steelers?
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan
I'd rather be a
Clark
sleeper.
Ryan Clark already picked us as a Super Bowl team. I don't know what else.
I know, but I'd rather be a
on.
sleeper because.
What else are you hearing, Derpy? What else are you hearing?
I wouldn't put too much stock into that, Derpy.
They're always the narrative. They always.
Yeah, that's what they do. Listen, let me explain something to you. If there wasn't a villain in the media, nobody would go. No. Listen, they need to tune. They need people to tune in. They need people to read their papers. They need people to watch their news. If you just sit there and tell everybody, just the facts, what it is, nobody's going to tune in. They want to hear the big prediction. They want to hear the Steelers or this. They want, it's all part of news. I wouldn't put too much stock into a Derpy. I don't know what you heard, but one way or another, they're trying to sell product. It's a business just like anything else.
I know.
I wouldn't worry too much.
It's more of a world brand than what it was originally.
There was an NFL game last night. One Sunday game. This game was between the Saints and the Chargers. The Saints win this sleeper 22-17. Tonight, the last game of the 5-day NFL rush for this weekend is between the Ravens at the Commanders. This game is at 8:00. And coincidentally, guys, I took the liberty of going and looking into last year's picks and seeing where we stand.
Uh-huh.
All right, get this. Mike, you are down a game, but you have the tiebreaker.
No way.
The tiebreaker was 42 points. You hit 40. And Derpy said 28. You said 27-13. The score was 27-15. So here's the way it breaks down, though. If the Commanders win, Derpy wins the week. If the Ravens win, because of the tiebreaker, Mike wins the week. So it's as straight up as it could possibly be.
Let's go
tonight.
Baltimore, boys.
The Ravens win, Mike wins the week. The Commanders win, Derpy wins the week. Plain and simple. Nothing, no crazy tiebreakers, no crazy turns, twists, nothing like this. Whoever wins this game is the winner of the week, guys. I'll go down through the other things that did happen.
Yeah.
Because this is a shortened week, we don't have that extra day to stretch it along. So we'll go over what we're going to go over. Then we'll come back and go through the games this weekend. Get ready for tonight, and then we can come back out firing tomorrow, getting ready for the next weekend coming up, where the Steelers start the weekend on Thursday night.
Ooh, I forgot we had a Thursday night game. That's rough.
Oh, how exciting, man. How exciting. Guys, let me ask you something. Who is your biggest surprise so far in this preseason? Who's somebody that you're surprised? See, I'm not really surprised at too much at this point. I mean, we expected Calvin Austin to come do what he does. We expected Jalen Warren to do what he does. I don't know if there's really any surprises on this team. And that's what, I think what Derpy's saying, as long as it's kind of kept in house and we can all kind of just, mull over, but now it's out in the media and they're talking about it. I'm not really surprised by too much on this team right now.
Dan Moore Jr.
That's your big surprise?
That's my big surprise. Him locking down that left tackle spot. The way he's playing, how do you justify taking him out? unless you're going to move him over to right and put Roger Jones in that left. But Dan Moore, he had that competition come in, and he had a couple weird comments earlier in the offseason, but he's just locked it down. He's playing at a new level we haven't seen him play at. Yeah, it's only preseason, but this is someone, he can see that he's fighting for his starting job, and he took it very seriously. He's locking that left side down.
Derby, is anybody on this team surprising you? Now, let me ask you this. Let me open up the question a little bit for you. Is there anybody surprising you, whether it be positive or negative? Is there anybody that's surprising you negatively either? I mean, that could be an option as well. Somebody that you thought was going to come in and do fantastic. Anybody, Derpy, at this point, is there any surprises to you?
I'd say positive. I would say Austin, because I wasn't a fan of him.
Yeah.
Originally, there was a lot of concerns for him. But negative, I would say DJ, because he hasn't got a touchdown yet.
Okay.
Even though it's preseason.
Derpy.
All right.
Even though it's preseason, he hasn't proven anything.
I mean,
he hasn't proven. Oh my God, he caught 3 passes his first game, all targeted to him. He had no targets last game and threw a key block and a touchdown.
It's going to come down to the starters playing all game, and these guys are going to be scoring touchdowns. So I'm not too concerned about that at this point. If we're sitting here at week 5, week 6 at the bye, and he still has none, and everybody else is producing, then I think we could continue this conversation. But at this point, I mean, it is preseason, and you know what? It might have irritated me a little bit more if maybe he might have got inside of the young quarterback's head and just kept getting on him. Come on, we got to get this first touchdown to me, and kind of force something that it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that that's not going on this team right now, I like that, because once players start, of course this is what we do. So at this point, I'm not too concerned about DJ. It was such a bizarre season. The guy had a great, look at the rest of his numbers. It was a great season.
Yeah.
You can't take much away from him. So at this point, I'm kind of over it. But like I said, if we're sitting here at bye week having the same conversation, I think that the opinions definitely might be different.
Yeah, that's when you worry. Right now
I hope he gets the first touchdown of the year.
Me too. Yeah, everyone has.
That's what I'm hoping. It's just
everyone has shown what they needed to show this year, except like maybe Najee. He's the only one who hasn't shown anything.
Yeah,
I do want to slide into the Najee here for a second, because
that's who I'm negative a little bit on too.
You did a little bit of work over the past couple of days, and you said that you're seeing a lot of people are being totally negative on Najee, and there's this Twitter feud going on about Najee. Please introduce me to this conversation, because I haven't been into this yet, and I'm kind of curious.
It's kind of weird. You have people who are legit saying Najee is terrible, people who are criticizing his performance, and then you have the rest that are defending him to the death, saying you can't even have any valid criticism of Najee. I think you look at Najee's numbers; they're all right. He has 1,000 yards both years, but he only has 4 100-yard rushing games. You can argue the line problems, but we've seen other running backs come here who had bad offensive lines put up good numbers. This is for he's been productive when he's been healthy here, but when you get someone in the first round, you're expecting a lot. You're expecting a superstar, and where he's just being like an average running back is what he is. And then you take into account like the people that we passed up on. Like we could have had Creed Humphreys at center and Pat Frymuth at the same time, and got a running back later. Instead, we get Najee. Muth turned out a really good pick, and then we get Kendrick Green. So it's like for me, it's the whole effect of taking Najee kind of changed the whole landscape of what this team could have been. But I'm willing to still give him a chance. He's coming into year 3. This year, he's finally healthy. This is the best offensive line he's had. Arm talent, he had Ben, but he had the shell of Ben. He's getting a quarterback on the rise. Okay, is that going to change things? Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett together are coming into their own, it looks like, in the preseason. So is that going to change Najee's, way he's using the offense? So there's all these different factors, but everyone wants to either call him a bust, a star who's being hampered by the team, or he's somewhere in between. And it's like dividing the Steeler community, because last year we had Najee Deontay complain about. Now everyone wants to complain about Najee. So it's a lot of fans hate him, a lot of fans love him, and then there's that big chunk in the middle that are trying to be objective either way. To
be honest, I think there's really listen, guys. Year one, he's in his third season, so he played 2 seasons. His first year, he had 1,200 yards to be exact, 1,200 to the yard. Second year, he had 1,034 yards. In the first 2 seasons, he had 2,234 yards for a total of 14 touchdowns, which he scored 7 touchdowns in both of his first 2 seasons. Now, that's not bad considering the injuries he's had. That's not bad considering, as you said, catching the tail end of Big Ben's career and catching a rookie in a very unsure season. That's not bad considering, and we can make comparisons all day to other people that adapted to the line. But, at the end of the day, this line, we're in preseason last year blocking each other. I literally still have the picture on my phone. And, so 2,234 yards in 2 seasons with 14 touchdowns, and your counterpart is Jaylen Warren. I don't think there's I would rather have running back by committee. I looked at this team up in Cleveland for the past couple of years before they got rid of Kareem Hunt and then with Nick Chubb, and I thought, man, having a bang committee running back by committee like this would be so effective. For some reason, it doesn't work for the Browns, but that's for another story for another day. But this season here, I tell you what, you got your offensive line in place. You got your game plan in place. You got Canada making some changes on this offense. And now you're coming into your 3rd season. I say this one is the deal breaker. I don't think he's doing terrible. I don't think he's doing great. I think he's doing good enough for the opportunity that he was given. I mean, if this guy would have came out and ran for, 1,500 yards with the kind of season that we had last year, I think that would have taken the whole world by surprise. But on one hand, we have things that we have to improve on as a team. Derpy might say that this guy hasn't had a touchdown. Mike might say this guy only had 1,000 yards a season. So, I mean, this shows us that we are human. We're not in the, we're not in the conversation of even being one of the better teams yet. So this season's big. These first quarter of the season, 4 or 5 games. Let's see what Najee does. Let's see how many times DJ lands in the end zone. And then again, at this point, at the bye, then we could really realistically say, okay, here we are. We can look at the first 2, I would say a little better than average seasons that Najee had and go from there. Again, at the end of this season, if you have to bench Najee all year to put Jaylen Warren in just to have a productive running game, then you're going to have to really, dig deep inside and figure out what we have to do. But at this point, for people to be, here's the thing. People just couldn't be happy with the Steeler win the other day. They just couldn't be.
We have to invent things out of thin air.
And you knew it was coming. You didn't know what it was. You didn't know who it was, but you knew it was coming. Something was going to come along. So everybody would not be happy at one time, concerning Pittsburgh fans. But I really think that it's too early. I really think that it's too early. Let's take a look at what maybe if this could become a successful Steeler team, which you could argue the past couple of years they finished over 500, but just matters how you measure success. If this becomes a successful football team, which I think they just might, then I think that would give Najee give us a fair opportunity to take a look at Najee's numbers, how they came to this point, and kind of go from there. I think it's really early to jump on Najee, as a lot of these people are. I really think it's unfair to pinpoint him. We have a lot of things growing, a lot of things moving, and a lot of things changing. So as I said, if we're at bye week, maybe halfway point, and we're still dissatisfied with Najee, and again, he's getting yanked for Jaylen, most of the time, then I think you got a point. This, Mike, I think is something that again, some people just don't like to see anybody enjoy anything. And we won. It was a nice win in preseason. Somebody had to come up with this and say, well, Najee. So I personally am not putting too much into this.
No, I'm not either. But I think a lot of it is after his rookie year, we thought, okay, he's going to make that huge jump from year 1 to year 2. Then he came in hurt. We had the uncertainty at quarterback to play. The line took forever to gel. But once we saw the line gel, we saw the quarterback position stabilize. Najee, his second half numbers were pretty good.
What you got to consider also, Mike, when you're winning and you're playing the kind of game that we played in the last 9 games, you back off that running back a little bit. Those first 7 games, 10 games, whatever it was, 8 games. Now people know that we're not going to pass the ball well. We're basically passing, dink and dunks. So guess what? I could key on the running game so much better
guys in the box
because you have those guys right there who could just simply drop out of the box and cover those flat covered the. So, like I said, I really, really want to see how this season plays out before I start making that call on Najee. I think that he's done fine. I understand that people are going to come along and say first round pick.
You expect more, but he's doing all right.
Again, you put a great running back on a team that's not so good. You see this a lot of times in the draft. You know what? They're just not that same running back anymore. So things have to come together.
Yeah.
And for this Steeler team, like I said, I say give it a quarter of the season to halfway through the season. And at that point, I think we're going to know who the real Najee is.
Yeah, those first 4 to 5 games are going to be very important for him. Like,
absolutely.
Some of those defenses we're playing, he's going to have to be able to shoulder the load to take some of the pressure off the passing game.
Absolutely.
Unless the passing game, like we're seeing it, man, it's making strides. If it makes a huge stride that first quarter of the season where we become more of a passing team than a power run team, that could be huge because that'd open up their run game even more.
Yeah.
Because you could worry about the passing game. And if we keep attacking the middle of the field, it's going to force those linebackers to stay back, some of those safeties to stay back. So it's give it a chance, people. Give it a chance. Let's see what the new look offense can do.
Absolutely. Let me get caught up on P here. I did just get back to my board. Let's see. P said with the Chargers, Charger going to Charger. Such a shame. Phil and Antonio wasted their career. The terrible organization. Also, he says, what do running backs with bad offensive lines in 1,000 yards all have? Bad knees and appointment. Yeah, you're right, P, as always. P is one of my sources of wisdom in this world. When I'm not sure about something, I read one of his. I read a message, and I you know what? I get it in clarity.
You get it. It makes sense. You read it and you laugh, but you're like, that makes perfect sense.
I don't laugh. You laugh at P. You.
I laugh, but then it sinks in.
You make the room uncomfortable.
It makes sense. That's my superpower. I make everyone uncomfortable. Okay?
We got to get into some things here, guys. Let me. Jeez, I don't even want to do this anymore with the Pirates. Let me ask you this real quick, guys. Which quarterback? Of course, we are Steeler fans. We want to see how Kenny starts out. Let me ask you, between these 3 other 2022 draft pick quarterbacks, Brock Purdy, Sam Howell, and Desmond Ridder, which one of these 3 guys are you most excited to watch play this year?
Oh, easy answer is Purdy, to see if he can keep doing what he's doing. But I'm going to go with Sam Howell. Okay. They signed Jacoby Brissett, and then Howell won the starting job, and they have some good.
I like
running back
Brissett.
and Brian Robinson Jr. They have McLaren and Jahan Dodson at the receiver position. So he has some weapons there, but it's Washington. They're doomed to fail.
Yeah.
But I just want to see if this kid, he played one game at the end of the year, 1 or 2 games at the end of the year, showed some flash. I want to see how he can do this year. I'm kind of looking to what Sam Howell. The Washington is my team this year. I'm going to keep a close eye on.
Derpy, what do you think? Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, or Brock Purdy? Again, these are the 3 other quarterbacks from the
Desmond.
2022. Who did you say?
Ooh.
Ridder.
Yeah. He's going to be fun. We're going to see him this week. Do you know?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard about their starting situation, if he's going or not. But they also have they have that tight end. I always forget his name.
Yeah.
It's him and Muth, man, the 2 tight ends from that.
I think we're
draft
going to be
class.
just fine against these guys.
Yeah, I don't think the starters are going to play much for either team.
Let me blow through this Pirates real quick, just because Twins win yesterday 2-0. Pirates dropped the series 2 games to 1. Big Stacks Mike, Big Stacks Brian Reynolds is the only Pirate to have any hits yesterday.
Whoa.
He has 2 hits.
Big Stack.
Wow. Only 2 hits. And if you remember, the guy was pitching yesterday. It wasn't really that he had a terrible ERA.
And I said, we were doomed.
Borduki came in. He had one of these weird spot starts where he threw for 2 innings, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks. They yank him after 2. Put in Osvaldo Beto. Beto goes 3.1 innings, gives up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 6 Ks.
Great strategy.
Total legend.
Yeah. That was game 3. They lose the series 2 games to 1. We got a series starting at home against the Cardinals. Game 1 of 3 at 7:05. Probables are for the Cardinals. Drew Rom. He's a left-handed pitcher. This is his debut. And the Pirates pitcher was not even listed yet. So apparently the Pirates are playing mind games and like anything.
Yeah, we probably can't find a pitcher.
Yeah. One extra note: Pirates. Andrew McCutchen passes Dave Parker to become the 9th all-time on the Pirates RBI list.
Congrats.
And that was obviously from 2 days ago because Brian Reynolds was the only hit yesterday. So
yeah.
just getting back to that.
Kyle pitches the tight end from the Falcons that I always forget his name.
Yeah, Pitts. All right. So here is the list, guys. We're going to wrap it up tonight for this weekend's picks. It was really close. As a matter of fact, it came down to this one last game. Let me just give you some games, how they played out, and we're going to kind of go from there. Last Thursday, the Eagles and who they played, the Browns. That game was a tie, 18-18. Next game was Panthers Giants. Giants win this game, 21-19. Falcons tied the Bengals 13-13. Do we need to know the scores? We just want to say who won.
Yeah, let's just do who won.
Yeah. The Jags, let me see. So let's go down through it here. So it comes down to this. There was 4 games that literally set the difference on this week's picks. The Colts and Bears, the Chiefs and Cardinals, the San Francisco 49ers and Broncos, and finally the Ravens and the Commanders. So Derpy is literally 1 ahead right now because he won the Colts over the Bears. He won the 49ers over the Broncos. Mike, you won the Chiefs over the Cardinals. So basically the only way that this could play out is if the Ravens win, because Mike does have the tiebreaker. So if he wins today and it's all tied up, Mike wins because Derpy's 1 game ahead. Now, if Derpy wins, that puts him the extra game ahead. So if the Commanders win tonight, he wins. So it's straight out. No matter what happens, of all the picks this week, it comes down to this game. It comes down to those are the only situations that could happen. The Ravens have to win. Mike has the tiebreaker. He gets that. Commanders win, Derpy wins. Bottom line, no twist, no turn, nothing weird. So tonight, guys, the Ravens going for either their 24th or 25th straight preseason game. I'm sure Mike put this into consideration as he was trying to figure out his picks.
I did.
But this is it, guys. And you know what? This would be the game that the Ravens would finally drop a preseason game because it is the team that you have, Mike, to win and to win it all.
Yeah. I'm putting my faith in them. I think Derpy was missing for a day, and I think he went down to Baltimore. He did something to the team. I think, they're not going to play well. It's going to be because of Derpy. Derpy, did something to the team. I don't want to speak of it because I heard about it. It's not fit for a family show like this. So I'm going to say
Derpy did Baltimore.
Derpy did Baltimore, and cool.
And boy, did he do it good.
He did, and the Harbaugh and the boys, they're just not in the right frame of mind. They're questioning a lot of things. They're shaky, but I think they're going to show resilience and pull out the win.
I do feel like I'm depriving her. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to give you the scores because it is all the NFL scores from this weekend.
All right, let's do this.
Browns, Eagles, they were the Thursday game. That was an 18-18 tie. The Friday games come along, and the Giants beat the Panthers 21-19. In the other Friday game, the Bengals and the Falcons, that ended in a tie. That game was 13.
The Bungles.
Going into this weekend, it looked like everybody from our division was going to tie. However, we did break that chain. The Steelers broke that chain. Next game was a Saturday game between the Jaguars and the Lions, where Jacksonville wins 25-7.
That was a massacre.
It was. I don't know what to think of this Lions team anymore, but we still got time because the regular season is just around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins over the Texans 28-3. Steelers over the Buffalo Bills 27-15. The Colts 24. The Bears 17. Buccaneers
That's
beat
all
the
I need to
Jets.
know about the Bears.
This Buccaneers and Jets game. The Buccaneers beat the Jets 13-6. Titans 24. Vikings 16. The Chiefs 38. The Cardinals 10.
Oh, yeah, boys.
Patriots 21. Packers 17. Rematch of Super Bowl 31. The 49ers 21. The Broncos 20. The Las Vegas Raiders 34. The Rams 17. Seahawks 22. Cowboys 14. Last night's game, the Saints beat the Chargers 22-17, and tonight wraps it up with an 8 o'clock, very first Monday night game of the season. Tonight, Ravens at Commanders. This one is for everything, Mike. Everything. You lose, you're down 2-0 in the preseason to Derpy. If you win, you are tied back up with 1 week deciding the whole thing next week coming up. So there you have it, guys. That is your NFL wrap up for the long weekend, the Thursday to Monday. I love it.
How about the teams that have no wins? The Broncos, the Vikings, and the Rams and the Cowboys. Who would have thought like the Cowboys, there's like everyone's sleeper contender for the Super Bowl.
Right.
They have a good run because of that defense. They're 0-2 in the preseason. It's not looking good. You don't want to finish the preseason without any wins.
No.
You don't want to go in on a down note. You got to pull at least one out.
One correction I did want to make yesterday after another correction that I made. Yesterday, I went from Percy Harvin to Preston Harvin, and it wasn't Preston Harvin at all. It was Presley Harvin. So if anybody did catch that, I corrected myself.
I just want, it's going to let it slide.
I corrected myself. I said Percy because that was the receiver from the Vikings back in the day. Mm-hmm. When I corrected it, I didn't.
I'm lagging.
I don't know who'll get back here, but Derpy, you're going down. Go. There we go. You're back.
All right.
Derpy, not only did Derpy mess up the Ravens, he's messing up the equipment here at the studio. I don't know what he's doing.
Why don't you tell everybody about the website?
Dumyinzers.com. Head on over there for everything. Links for every place to find us, every place to watch us, listen to us. Social media is all on there. Merch stores on there. All at Dumyinzers.com. The only thing you won't find there is Derpy. I should give Derpy a little column space.
Yeah.
The Daily Derp.
The Daily Derp. Every day it'll say 162 games a season.
Or it will just be blank and say nothing as I'm I'm serving stuff up on a platter for him. He's just letting it go to waste.
Or when you click on it, it takes a really long time for it to come up.
Exactly. We're feeding him stuff on a platter today.
Yeah.
Derpy's not helping us today.
Derpy's not reciprocating well.
He's not. That's what I hear about him.
All right, so here we go. This is going to be another Atlanta Falcons trivia question because we do play the Falcons Thursday night. Again, everybody, this is Monday afternoon. Will not be long now. Thursday night is the Steelers and Falcons tonight, Monday Night Football. Don't forget that either. Guys, this is the Atlanta Falcons trivia question of the day. Are we ready?
I am ready.
Derpy, are you ready?
Maybe.
All right, here we go. This is going to be tough for everybody. This is not an easy one, but I'm going to give you answers and it gives you something to choose from.
All right.
In 1977, the Atlanta Falcons defense set an NFL record for fewest points allowed in a 14-game season. How many points did they allow? In 77, the Falcons set a record, an NFL record for fewest points allowed in a 14-game season. How many did they allow? The options are this, guys. A, 86, B, 129, C, 173, or D, 204. We're looking for the amount that you think that the Falcons gave up that season to set the record in 1977. Think that over. We're live 7 days a week, everybody, right here from 11 to 11:30 to 12, from Monday to Sunday, every day right here. And if you just would rather listen to the show in podcast form, the news show that we do every day gets uploaded over on Spotify at 8:00 p.m. So you could, just put your earbuds in and do your thing and listen to the show, because the podcast does get uploaded brand new every day at 8:00 p.m.
Yeah, Pete, you were one. I wasn't even born yet. Jeez. Derpy wasn't even a twinkle in anyone's eye.
I wasn't even conceived.
Derpy was toilet decor at that point.
Yep, exactly.
Anyway, in 1977, the Atlanta Falcons defense set an NFL record for fewest points allowed in a 14-game season. How many points did they allow? A, 86, B, 129, C, 173, D, 204. I'm looking for the amount of points. Derpy, what do you think?
One more time. What were they?
Just the options?
Yeah.
86, 129, 173, 204.
I'm gonna go 129.
129. Is this your
Yeah.
final answer?
Yeah.
All right, Mike.
Damn. Yeah, I want to say A because that's impressive, but I'm gonna go with B with Derpy. 129 sounds manageable. Sounds
All right.
realistic.
Let's see. P on the board says B 129. NFL is pretty low scoring, but not in the 86-point range for 14 games. So P is also going with 129 points. So that is the same. You're all picking B. Derpy, Mike, P on the board. Everybody got B. One more time, in 1977, the Atlanta Falcons defense set an NFL record for fewest points allowed in a 14-game season. How many points did they allow? Was it A, 86, B, 129, C, 173, or D, 204? Everybody on the show said 129. The answer, guys, is Terrence Mathis. I'm just teasing. The answer is 129. 129. You guys are all correct. Great job.
That's what I'm talking about, boys.
Did that throw you off yesterday with that Terrence Mathis
It
answer?
did. It shook me for a while. One, that I forgot about him, and two, I forgot that he was that good.
I thought it was funny because when Derpy started, I go back and watch the shows, and Derpy was he was really confident with his pick at first.
Mm-hmm.
And his pick was Julio Jones. And then Mike, he was confident with his pick. He was like, "Oh, Andre Rison, that's a little bit further back. He was really good, blah, blah, blah." And then it ended up being Terrence Mathis. I thought that was a good one. You guys were truly convinced that you both knew it. And it was neither. So
F you, Terrence Mathis.
You got anything before we get ready to take off, Mike?
God. We always say it takes 3 years to judge a draft class. This is year 3. Now we can finally judge appropriately youth. Kendrick Green, I think that we already figured that one out, and Najee. 3 to 4 years is what it takes. We're hitting year 3, so this regular season, like Ryan said, it's make or break for a lot of these guys.
I think Kendrick Green doesn't even make it to the regular season.
I don't think he does.
Because on top of that bad snap, he also had another holding call, and the Steelers just weren't committing the penalties. Buffalo had at least a dozen.
14.
I know this.
They had like 14.
So you're looking at that alone. You're saying, wow. One team is making a lot of mistakes, the other team isn't. Yet this one guy continues to make his mistakes. When you look at and we'll do that maybe one day. I don't know. Next week we'll take a look and we'll figure out. We'll figure out who the 53 plus the one extra position for the quarterback is. So we will figure out who the 54 is in the 16, and the 16 who we believe is also going to be on the practice squad. So between us three, we're going to cut about 30 guys. Between us three, we're going to cut about 30 guys. So maybe next week after preseason is over, we have that extra time waiting up to the first game of the season against San Fran. We will tell you exactly who the 53 is going to be, who the 16 in the practice squad is going to be. And I already have a pretty good idea on my answer, guys, to start thinking that over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, P, he was having a blast down in Atlanta until his house got burnt down.
Oh, yeah. Left Eye. Wasn't it Left Eye? She burned it down?
Yeah.
She put all the stuffed animals he ever bought her in the tub, set them on fire, and burnt the mansion down.
You know what they say about crazy boys.
Mm. Derpy, do you have anything you'd like to say before we get ready to roll?
Yeah. I can tell you this. Tomlin is not taking the disrespect too lightly.
Okay.
And if he has them ready to overcome adversity of injuries, something special could happen this year.
All right.
And winning the big game, maybe.
I'm feeling still going to have a nice season. So it's hard to predict where we'll ultimately land, but I think it's going to be better than it has been, guys. The Pirates are down. They're 12 and a half games out.
What goes, baby?
Steelers got 20 days, 3 weeks from yesterday to the regular season opener against San Francisco.
That's too long. That is way too long.
However, we only have 3 days to the next Steeler game we get to watch. So yeah.
We got that going for us.
We got that. So thank you so much for checking us out, everybody. We appreciate each and every one of you, as always. The two Dum Yinzers, Derpy, Mike, myself, everyone have a great